Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. We are featuring the Shadow Feraligatr in the Go Battle League. This thing just got access to Shadow Claw and went from being a no-name to the real deal, to a menace, to top meta. And you are going to start seeing Shadow Feraligatr all over the place. Game number 1. We're in rank 4, and somehow we're already seeing Basti Shadow Victor. This game looks over. We might as well give up. Right? Wrong. We are going to fight this out to the bitter end. And if it's double Razor Leaf, there's nothing we can do. We just simply lose based off team comp, but we're going to fight it out. We don't know what's in back, and if it's something that maybe Lantern has play against, maybe we can find our way out of this. Feraligatr at least got a shield advantage from the Victory Bell. We take a move here. Our opponent waits his timer. A bit of a mistake. This is going to allow me to crunch right away and get out right away, which gives my Lantern a slight head start. We get out right away, get a 2-spark head start against this Annihilate here. And now I know he's probably going to want a shield, but at the same time, it's tough because if he calls a Surf, I feel like that really puts me in a bad spot. So I'm committing to just going straight Thunderbolt, and I should be able to get off 2 Thunderbolts before he gets to 3 Night Slashes because of my head start. At this point, I kind of have to shield. I know it's just a Night Slash, but we got to shield something. We're getting awfully low for that Bastiodon. Gonna go for this Thunderbolt instantly, and I have enough health where I should be able to reach a Surf, but Surf's not gonna be enough. So we're fighting this out. We're up a shield still. Basti already ate that crunch, so it has been chipped a bit. We go for the Surf here. Surf's up, dude, as I like to say. Surf coming through, chips away at Basti. We still have a shield to hide behind. Rise, why do you run Crunch? Why don't you run Brutal Swing? It's cheaper energy. It's more efficient. You know what, Jermichael? Sometimes I like to run Crunch to fish for debuffs and do a little bit more raw damage, which is going to knock out the Bastiodon, and the opponent is not having it. They thought they had the RPS. They closed their phone app. And that is a G to the G. We're starting things off with high energy, with a bang in this video. And it's on to the next one. This team, by the way, I lost to, and I was like, you know, that seems like a pretty strong team. So I started running it. Someone in my chat also said that world champion, it's Axon, and streamer extraordinaire now was also running it. So if he's also running this team, didn't mean to copy his team. I simply played against this team and decided to run it, and someone said Axon was also running this team. So this might be the Axon team that we are running, if we can confirm that he was also running this team, and I think for good reason. It's going to do pretty well in this video. We are in the early ranks, but you're going to see how well it does. We go for the Dragon Claw here, knock out Altaria, in comes Lantern, and we have to stay in, but I'm okay staying in because I get off a Parting Crunch, which is going to do some really solid damage for us. And we want to make sure we keep our own Lantern aligned with this Lantern. We don't want Feraligatr in this matchup. We come in with our own Lantern. I'm going to be willing to take a move on the chin. It is a Thunderbolt. And here, you're going to see I actually have an opportunity to throw my move first, but I didn't want to get caught losing a charge attack priority. So instead, I wait. Eventually, I am forced to throw my Surf here, hoping that there's something in back that I can get off another Surf for some chip damage. And what is it? It's going to be a Deoxys Defense Form. Gets a 2-counter head start, but we get off this valuable Surf for some chip. And now it is approaching Hydro Cannon range after the Shadow Claw damage is applied. Feraligatr, one of many matchups here. One of so many matchups that it's going to benefit from that Shadow Claw addition to its move pool. And we're going to go for the Hydro Cannon here. This would, of course, knock out from this range. And we have back-to-back loaded before Deoxys can get to 2 moves. So fast to those Hydro Cannons. Only 5 Shadow Claws every single time. So easy to count. It's going to be 5 every time for Hydro. It's going to be 7 every time for Ice Beam. And unless you get to like 10 Ice Beams or something crazy like that. But Feraligatr, dude, it's the truth. It's the real deal. And it is here. Let's see. It looks like we're talking to chat or something. Queue up for the next battle. Who is it going to be? Autorect. Are they actually running Autorect is the question. I doubt it. I doubt they're running Autorect if it's a Whiscash lead. In comes Skeledirge. And I could have thrown Crunch here and then swapped. And I tried to like go for the catch. Was unsuccessful. And what I'm thinking here is both of my back two Pokemon are decent against Whiscash, so I don't necessarily care about Switch. I decide I'm willing to take the Disarming Voice here, and he can shield up and take back Switch if he wants, but I'm okay with that because I have energy lead on my Guzzlord for whatever happens there. Instead, he lets it go, and check out the bulk on Lanturn, living with 1 HP to get off a Parting Surf. That is huge. Gonna help Guzzlord take out the Whiscash here. Gonna come in with our Guzz to not reveal our third Pokemon just yet. Guzz comes in. He makes a beautiful catch onto his Skarmory. So a nice play by the opponent. However, this is a very solid matchup for Feraligatr when shields are up, because we are just going to significantly outpace the Skarmory, and our Hydro Cannon is going to do some severe damage to this flying Steel-type Pokemon. Shadow Claws are chunking as well. Shadow Claw, one of the best fast moves in the game, deals solid damage and has very good energy generation. Hydro Cannon coming through. Are they going to use their final Protect Shield here? No, they are going to let it go. And now this is just going to be too much, in my opinion, for Whiscash to overcome, because Mud Bomb does not knock out from here. We get off a parting Hydro Cannon. Going to probably force the Whiscash to use its final Protect Shield. We swap into Guzzy Wuzzy. And I'm actually going to take the first move because I figure he might go for like a Scald Bait here to try and debuff me. Doesn't get the debuff. And then he top lefts from the game. Very nice game there. Feraligatr just putting in so much work. In that first battle, of course, it got lined up against Shadow Vic, but it still got a shield advantage. I think that's one key to running Shadow Feraligatr, is sometimes it's going to be really good investing shields in, and sometimes you can use it just to give yourself a shield advantage and kind of picking those spots where it may be best. Going to skip ahead here as we look for another opponent into set number 2. And let's see how we do in this second set. Boston Blue is the opponent. Positive lead for me. Guzz into Licky. And the fact that the opponent is staying in signifies they're probably double weak to Guzzlord. So they don't have two answers to it in the back. They may, in fact, be double weak to it. And we're going to stay in here. I know this matchup decently well because I ran Guzzlord in a regional tournament and did some prep. And Littleton, of course, is so common. So Crunch plus Claw is basically enough, plus the Dragon Tail damage. So you're going to see me go for that Crunch first, and then just going to overfarm a little bit. Go for Dragon Claw before they get to that third Body Slam, because the third Body Slam does knock out in this matchup. We knock out Lickitung. What is going to come in to greet us? Ferrothorn. And this looked really scary. And this looked really scary when Ferrothorn came in, because our line is double weak to grass in the back. So normally you want to lure out the grass type with the Feraligatr. However, we're unable to do so. But because Guzzlord has such a high HP stat, it's not the bulkiest Pokemon. It actually has a pretty low defense, but it has a ridiculously high HP. Fast moves, it's extremely hard to farm down a Guzzlord because of this incredible HP stat it has. So for example, like it's almost impossible to lock on down a Guzzlord if it's even in like the red health, because it has so much HP. We come in with Lanturn. They swap their own Lanturn. And I'm just going to be staying in here, of course, because we're one spark ahead, essentially. Since he had to swap out, that takes a turn. So we get a 1 spark head start, or a 1 turn head start. And now I'm willing to just let this go because I know I'm going to get to the second Thunderbolt first, no matter what. He actually decided to bait me, try to open up a win con for himself. I think that makes sense. That might have been like his only win con if I committed a shield there. But now we just go for a second Thunderbolt. This is going to be able to knock out the opposing Lanturn. In comes Pharaoh. Pharaoh's going to be forced to throw energy here. And we are just going to save that shield for our for our Feraligatr in the back. And Shadow Claw down the Ferrothorn. G to the G. And we will search for the next opponent. Had a lot of support on stream today, so I thank you guys all for hanging out with me over on Twitch. We're jamming to some good music, playing our battles. Guzzlord into Mandibuzz. And This is a very positive matchup, in my opinion, for Guzzlord because the Snarls are hardly doing anything. Aerial Ace got buffed. Was it last season or maybe the season before? But still not the strongest move. So you're going to see in this matchup, Guzzlord is actually able to withstand 3 Aerial Aces. And we are over-farming energy. Going to throw our Dragon Claw here. And what's important in this situation is I'm aware that this Aerial Ace is going to leave me low. So what I don't want to happen is allow the opponent swap into something and then they snipe me with a fast move and I lose all my energy. So I'm just trying to be cognizant of that happening. I'm looking at what comes in. I'm just going to throw my Dragon Claw right away. I want to make sure I get off some chip damage here against this Swampert. And because of Guzzlord's nice bulk as a dragon, going to be able to get off a second Dragon Claw here for some really valuable chip damage. Going to come in with Feraligatr. I do lag a turn, unfortunately, so I get denied here. But we're going to put up a shield, respect the Earthquake. He does go for it, so a good use of a shield. In comes Lantern, and now you might be thinking, Rise, what are you doing staying in? Why not just switch into your own? Well, I'm down a shield and I'm down energy. So I figure I might as well stay in with Feraligatr, chip as much as I can, maybe get some of the advantage back, and then I can sacrifice it and put it all on my own Lantern. We lure him into throwing eventually, and now we're just going to put it all on the back of our own Lantern. Feraligatr put up a nice fight, did some nice chip damage to his Lantern, so I'm feeling pretty good about this situation. We shield up, and it is a Thunderbolt, so a nice shield. And now we just go straight Surf. This isn't going to be enough to knock out, but it's going to be enough to put him into Spark downrange. So he's forced to shield. And that Swampert is pretty much energy dry. We know he might try to use it as a catch here. So I just want to make sure I overfarm a little bit. Give myself an opportunity to make sure I have enough energy to outpace this opposing Lantern to Surf. Forget where exactly this opposing Lantern is at, but we're only 1 away from Surf. Do we get there first? We do. That was either a charge attack priority or he just like lagged or something. Because he didn't get a sneak, it looked like. And we knock out the Lantern. The fish. The angler fish for the W. And it's on to the next one. Here we go. Who is going to be next? Who's got next? That's a song. Oh, that's a good song. Dude. Isn't it crazy how, like, you sometimes just discover great music that it's been there for years, but you've never heard it, and then all of a sudden it's like one of your favorite songs? This trainer makes a bit of a mistake here. So he lagged at the start, it looked like, which is unfortunate, but then he swapped into Greninja, and I guess maybe in his mind he was trying to catch, like, a Crunch here, which kind of makes sense, I guess, but it's just overly risky in my opinion, right? I'm probably not going to throw Crunch on alignment. And then swapping a Greninja into a Guzzlord where it's just really going to struggle. Probably not the play. So I get a shield advantage, and we now are willing to swap in our Lantern here. Why Lantern over the super effective Shadow Claws from Feraligatr? Well, Lantern's just a lot bulkier, so Lantern's going to be able to withstand the damage from this Skeledirge a lot better than the Feraligatr. We're going to throw the Surf here. Are they going to invest their final shield on Skeledirge? They are, and then they swap into Trev. We get off a Parting Surf, and although Trev is like a little bit, I don't know what I'm saying. I was gonna say it's a little bit scary. It's not scary. We have a Guzzlord still. I'm like trying to make it like this could pose a threat, but we still have a Guzzlord with 2 shields to hide behind. So just a very favorable team comp for us. Our Guzzlord was just so good against this opponent's team, and this wasn't really like a no-shield flex, per se. This was just kind of, I didn't really need to shield in this scenario. And we're going to take the win. G to the G. Looks like my hair is standing up a little bit back there. On to the next one. I think we got maybe two more battles. Skip ahead a little bit. TJ Wilford is the next opponent. Guz into Shadow Gary. Cool pick. Has the buffed Aqua Tail now, and Gary's going to be able to deal super effective Dragon Tail damage. I didn't feel like it was worth swapping out here. And who knows, maybe that's the right call, maybe it's not. But I felt like I could get shield advantage and put Gary low. Gary does get the full farm down, which is a little bit concerning. But we're going to get off 2 sparks here, so they're only going to get to 1 move on Gary, which is positive for us. Let's see what comes in. It's going to be a pure ground type. It's a Shadow Kanto Sandslash. And then they swap into Drapion. And we're going to go for the Hydro Cannon here. It is a non-Shadow Drapion, which is actually a little bit worse for me in this particular instance because Hydro Cannon is not going to be enough to one-shot. If this was Shadow on Shadow, I think Hydro Cannon plus the Shadow Claw damage would be enough to one-shot. However, we're going to see this Hydro Cannon land, and Drapion is going to be able to hang on. They did bait me as well with that Aqua Tail in that first move, so really nice bait by the opponent. I'm going to respect the crunch. They do go for this time. I know their counts, so I'm going to throw on the charge attack priority of the crunch. Get off the Hydro Cannon here. And I didn't really know how much of a head start this Sandslash had, so I just go straight for the Hydro. I don't risk the unnecessary catch. And we are going to knock it out for the win. That Sandslash was running Sand Attack, which I did try as well today on stream with Hippowdon. I Shadow Hippowdon with Sand Attack. And I did really bad that set. I went 1-4. Maybe it was my own misplays and not utilizing Hippowdon well enough. However, it just didn't seem like it had a whole lot of play in many of the matches. I think there might have been one game where it got lined up against Galarian Stunfisk, and that was the only time it did quite well. So this game, you saw us lead into the Frost. That's actually not that bad of a matchup for Guz. However, I have 2 better answers. So I swap Feraligatr with the intention of luring out a grass type, which I do. He no shields. He calls that I was baiting the Hydro Cannon. What a call from the opponent. I'm like, uh-oh, this might be bad. But look at how much that Hydro Cannon did and how much these Shadow Claws are adding up. It looks like Feraligatr is going to be able to flip the alignment here. I'm going to invest my second shield, and I am going to farm down this Cradily. Going down a shield isn't ideal. However, look at all this energy I have. So I probably will be able to get the shield back against this Frostlass, which is not a very good answer for Feraligatr, by the way. Hydro Cannon grabs the final shield, and we win the charge attack priority against the Frostlass. They might have been thinking they win charge attack priority. Nuh-uh. Feraligatr has quite the high attack stat. We are going to go down to the Avalanche, but now it's a 2-on-1 fast break. It is a Skeledirge in the back, and we are going to catch the Disarming Voice here. Once again, this wasn't meant to be like a flex or anything like that. This was just, in my opinion, like the most effective mode of winning the game is bank the crunch, swap into Lantern, and our opponent, I think, closed out of their app after this, so Lantern's just going to spark away, and the Thunderbolt. I don't blame them, to be honest, like, especially if this was like their last battle. Like, you might as well just kind of close the app. I probably would have top lefted myself if the roles were reversed, so I don't think it's like bad sportsmanship or anything like that. I think the game is over. Maybe top lefting is like the better thing to do in a sense, but I don't have any problem really with that personally. We take that battle. That might have been the last one, or there might be one more. Let's see. That was the last one. And this team actually went 9-0. We lost the first battle of last set with a different team, and we lost to this team. We decided to copy it, and we went 9-0 to end the stream. Feraligatr, in conclusion, is the real deal. We hit rank 6. Sometimes I do the inside joke on the channel when I'm streaming. Like, they said, whenever we hit a new rank, Rise. They said Rise would never hit rank 3. They said Rise would never hit rank 5. But we just hit rank 6. And we're going to try and keep climbing. I have another video coming for you guys tonight. And Feraligatr is the truth. It's so good. If you have a Shadow Feraligatr, I highly recommend using it or building it. And if you have a regular Feraligatr, I think it's good as well, just not quite as good as the Shadow in terms of its ability to really oppress things by one-shotting them or putting up that oppressive Shadow Claw damage. So if you don't have a Shadow Feraligatr, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Maybe try and look if you have one that still has frustration, and maybe keep your eye on when the next Team Rocket event is. I think there's one. I've heard there's one potentially coming at the end of March. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All that said, thank you guys so much for watching. New season is here. Excited. And I will be providing some more content for y'all. All that said, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.